The dinosaurs are dead. The asteroid won, but the story isn't over. Enter the Ice Age, a frozen wasteland ruled by hairy elephants, saber-toothed nightmares, and sloths the size of giraffes. Welcome to Chaos History. Let's do a quick recap. 66 million years ago, a massive space rock slammed into Earth and hit the factory reset button. The giant lizards permanently checked out, and the only survivors were tiny, terrified, rat-like mammals shivering in holes underground. But with the dinosaurs finally gone, the world was suddenly free real estate. These tiny furballs started evolving rapidly. They got bigger, hairier, and much weirder. Welcome to the Cenozoic era, the mammal remix, where things get fuzzy. The climate decided to get difficult. The planet cooled down drastically. Massive ice sheets covered North America and Europe. To survive this freeze, animals had to embrace the winter fashion look. Incredibly thick fur and layers of blubber. Meet the absolute icon, the woolly mammoth. It's basically an elephant wearing a heavy fur coat. They roamed the frozen tundra, used giant curved tusks as snow shovels to find grass, and generally looked majestic while freezing. But they weren't alone. Meet the woolly rhinoceros. Yes, a rhino with a sweater. Evolution just looked at African animals and said, let's make them fuzzy and put them in a freezer. It was a tank built for the snow. Then we have the predators. The Smilodon or Saber-Toothed Cat. It had canines like steak knives. These teeth were 7 inches long. It literally couldn't close its mouth without looking terrifying. It was the ultimate nightmare of the era. But here is the catch. Those massive teeth were actually fragile. If they hit a bone, they snapped. So the saber-tooth wasn't a brawler, it was a ninja. Pin the prey, slash the throat carefully, and get out. If you think cats are scary, meet the terror bird, Titanus. Evolution tried to bring dinosaurs back for a sequel. A 10-foot-tall flightless bird with a beak like an axe that ate horses for breakfast. But the real heavyweight champion was the Megatherium, the giant ground sloth. Imagine a sloth, but the size of an elephant, walking on its knuckles. It could stand up and look straight into a second-story window. Unlike modern sloths, which are lazy and pathetic, this guy was a fortress. It had claws the size of Wolverine blades. Even a saber-toothed tiger thought twice before messing with this sloth. It was slow, but deadly. Then there is the Glyptodon. It's an armadillo the size of a Volkswagen Beetle. It carried a suit of armor so heavy, it essentially became a walking boulder. Its defense stats were maxed out to level 100. Some even had spiked tails like a medieval mace. They were basically biological bumper cars. If a predator attacked, they just hunkered down inside their shell and waited for the attacker to get bored and leave. In North America, we had the dire wolf. It's like a modern wolf, but bigger, heavier, and meaner. They hunted in packs and took down bison. Game of Thrones did not make them up. They were very real. But the weirdest animal? The Macrauchenia. It looks like a camel tried to be an elephant but gave up halfway. It had a long neck and a weird trunk nose, and nobody really knows exactly what it was for. Also, let's mention the Castaroides. The giant beaver. It was the size of a black bear. Imagine a beaver dam built by bears. They were the master architects of the Ice Age wetlands, chewing down entire forests. The Ice Age wasn't just weird animals. The geography was totally different. So much water was locked in ice that sea levels dropped. You could literally walk from Russia to Alaska. It was called the Bering Land Bridge. And who walked across that bridge? Us. Homo sapiens. We showed up late to the party, armed with pointy sticks, fire, and a complete lack of fear. We were the ultimate invasive species coming for the new world. Humans were small and squishy compared to a mammoth, but we had 2 superpowers. We could sweat to run long distances, and we could throw things. We were the ranged unit of nature, snipping giants from a distance. We also had dogs. Well, early wolves that we bribed with meat scraps. Humans and dogs teamed up to become the most efficient hunting duo in history. The ultimate bromance began right here in the snow. The interaction between humans and megafauna is controversial. Some scientists say the climate killed the giants. Others say humans just ate them all. It's the overkill hypothesis. Spoiler, we were hungry, so we probably ate them. Think about it. A glyptodont is slow, delicious, and comes with its own serving bowl. A mammoth is a grocery store that walks. For early humans, the Ice Age was basically an all-you-can-eat buffet. But nature fought back. The short-faced bear. This thing was 12 feet tall on its hind legs. It could outrun a horse. If you saw this bear, you didn't run. You just apologized and accepted your fate. 12,000 years ago, things started to change. The planet warmed up, the ice sheets melted. The mammoth steppe, a giant grassland, disappeared, replaced by thick forests. The giants lost their habitat and their food source. The woolly coats that saved them were now a liability. Mammoths overheated. Saber-toothed lost their big prey. The specialized giants couldn't adapt to a warmer, faster world. Their reign was ending, and the small animals were taking over. One by one, the megafauna vanished. The sloths, the cats, the beavers, gone. The Quaternary extinction event wiped out almost all land animals over 100 pounds. Except for us, of course. We just changed our clothes. Interestingly, mammoths survived way longer than you think. A small population lived on Wrangel Island until 4,000 years ago. The pyramids of Giza were being built while fuzzy mammoths were still walking around on an island. Why did the small animals survive? Because they were adaptable. Deer, wolves, and bears could eat anything and live anywhere. The giants were too specialized. Being big is cool until you starve to death. And what about the terror birds? They met a new predator from North America, the wolf. It turns out pack tactics beat giant beak every time. The birds were dethroned by the dogs. So what is the legacy of the Ice Age? It's shaped the modern world. The Great Lakes, scraped out by glaciers. Long Island, a pile of dirt left by a melting ice sheet. It terraformed our planet. It also forced humans to get smart. We had to invent better clothes, better shelters, and cooperation to survive the cold. The Ice Age pressure cooked our brains into modern intelligence. We froze our way to success. Today we find their bones in tar pits like La Brea. Mammoths and saber-tooths trapped together in sticky asphalt, preserved forever in a perfectly awkward final embrace. Science thanks them for their sacrifice. We even have perfectly frozen mammoth bodies. We have their DNA. Scientists are currently trying to clone them, because if Jurassic Park taught us anything, it's that bringing back extinct giants is a fantastic idea. But let's be real, if we bring back the mammoth, we're just going to put it in a zoo and sell plushies. The majesty of the Ice Age is gone, replaced by gift shops and popcorn. The Ice Age was the era of monsters. It was a time when sloths were scary and beavers were bears. It was a brief, fuzzy window of madness before the modern world settled down. We are technically still in an ice age. We are just in an interglacial warm period. The ice could come back, so maybe keep that winter coat. You might need it in 5,000 years. Thanks for joining Chaos History for the sequel to the Dinosaurs. If you are glad you don't have to fight a 10-foot bird for your breakfast, smash that like button. It really helps us out. Let us know in the comments, what is the best megafauna? I'm Team Giant Sloth. It's basically a deadly sofa cushion. See you in the next timeline.